Not fair, is it, Chief? Why she got milk and you don't?
She gobbled you.
Because you ate it all. There's no milk. There's no milk in there. There's absolutely no milk in there.
Junkie. Poor little milk junkie.
All right, guys, we are in a battle here. We have treated our cows, I think, 3 times with a watered down or a reduced dosage of pymethrin. I think that's how you say it. Because they had a bunch of lice, adult lice, several weeks ago. And we think we got those under control with a topical, it's called, what's it called, Deb? Stock Guard? Is that what it's called? But we did a video on it, and we treated them and we got rid of the adults. And then they didn't have any lice for several weeks. And then we noticed they had hatched, and you got to break the cycle on them. Well, we did that, and we gave them some more of the spray and put it on properly and everything. They still have some little tiny lice on them. So we went away from Stock Guard, I think it's called. We went away from that and we got this Ultra Boss. They said it's safe for cows, safe for goats, it's safe for horses, and it's also safe for calves, and it's based on the weight of your cow. So our cows are 100 pounds or less, and they're getting close to 100 pounds. And you only use 3 milliliters. This whole bottle will treat 57 550-pound cows. So we only need 3 milliliters, and my finger's on the 10 millimeter or 10 milliliter mark. We found a syringe, and we're gonna fill that with 3 milliliters, and then we gotta put it down the center of their back and then the center of their head and not get it in their eyes. And 3 millimeters is supposed to coat the whole cow and then mix with their skin oils and just kind of rub down or run down the side of their body under their skin. And this is very effective. All right, I'm going to try and get 3 milliliters out of there. So it'll only going to be like half the syringe. That's 3. That's all that we can put on the cow. And this is supposed to be a season. Is it season or annual? Season long. So the season for lice is in the winter. So that's all they can get as far as this product, as far as I know. So Highland cows have 2 coats. They have an undercoat that's just real soft and furry. And then they have their regular long hair on top. So what we got to do is we got to part their hair and put this all the way down the middle of their back and also on their head. They love attention, but when you're trying to do things like this, they don't like to stay still. So we've kept them halter trained so we can pretty much lead them around the property. And the halter in the afternoon means that they're going to go for a walk outside the pen where we have a lot of good grass. Well, she's happy with the halter so far, but I don't know how long that's going to last.
How did you know? How do you know?
So the most common place is up here on their shoulders. I guess it's called their withers, this area right here. So I'm just going to put a small amount in there because I don't have very much. This is why a lot of cattle owners have squeeze chutes, but also they're bigger cattle, so they're using a lot more product.
There's a gun that you can get, and it squirts out quicker and probably more efficiently, but I don't know for this tiny amount.
I think it's working out pretty good. I mean,
yeah, she's doing good.
I'm getting it down to where it needs to be. All I'm doing is just barely depressing this plunger. I mean, this is the way to go. If you got Highland cows or small cows, mini cows, and you have to do it, I couldn't even imagine doing it with that big bottle without this little syringe.
It said to apply it and then let it dry for a couple of hours. It says 7 to 10 days for it to disperse.
Yeah, because the lice aren't just here in the middle of her back. The lice are, you know, down, maybe some around her belly, some like low on her legs. She's had enough.
It's so funny because you know she doesn't feel it, and we pick and love on her all the time, so it's not like she's not used to being touched. But because they have such thick fur, you can actually see where he stopped, where he's parted it. Nope.
She hears my footsteps. It's funny because sometimes she's not cooperating.
Nope.
She's already fed up with me. And that's the way she gets. Like, you can love on her and brush her hair, and at some point, Charlie just says, I've had enough, whatever it is. What it says is that it's not systemic. It isn't going to get in her system, in her blood system. That's not how it works. It's topical. But this little bit of this chemical is going to mix with her body oils and migrate down. You're on the internet looking at things today, weren't you?
Well, I get on the internet and I get on Facebook, and Facebook knows that I like critters. So Facebook's constantly sending me pictures and pages, and of course I research them to make sure they're legit. And one of the sites that I follow popped up today, and she had a mini jack donkey.
Well, so she also had a mini something else, right?
Oh, gosh darn, she had a mini cow that was a micro mini, and she called it a mini micro mini, and she stood 18 inches tall, and she was the most beautiful light red and white, and she was a cross between a Dexter and was it Hereford?
Hereford, I think is what you said.
Hereford and Dexter, and
like
she
a mini
was
Hereford,
just maybe? Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, so she's a few weeks old. She'll be ready to go in a few weeks, and gosh, it's really hard not to inquire about her. But they did have the mini donkey, the Jack, too, and I did inquire about him.
But why were you not like jumping on it and getting it? Because it was a reasonable.
Go potty.
Oh, she got a bathroom on me. It was a reasonable price for a mini, but what is it you're tired of?
She's going to be ready to go in a couple weeks, so she's still going to need to be bottle fed. And there's two things. We've been bottle feeding for 4 months, and it was great, and now it's physically painful. And so I'm kind of over bottle feeding.
Because these guys are almost weaned. Like, we've got them off their afternoon bottle, and they're not even complaining about it anymore.
They could be weaned completely. They graze all day. They eat their starter feed. They eat hay. I mean, they really could be weaned. I've got some milk left, so I'm gonna wait until their milk's gone to completely take them off. But they're doing great.
What was the other thing that she had, Deb? That you like you're ready to load up? Like, you're asking her what the shipping charge is.
Well, she had the mini Jack donkey, and he's 7 months old, and he's already halter trained, and he's tame, and he lifts his feet, and he'll stay tied up for farrier.
What does that mean, for lift his feet?
So lift up his feet for farrier care, for hoof care,
do they
hoof
need
checking.
farrier and cows don't?
No, right. Horses and donkeys, like every 6 weeks, I think they need farrier care. They need their teeth checked. So you want one that is tame enough to be tied up and calm. You want one that's tame around people. You want one that will lift its feet. And
you want one that'll cooperate, like she's not doing now for her head.
Exactly. So, and he's got all that. Her post actually said, this handsome fella is good, one you want to bring home to mama or grandma because he's so good. They're in Georgia, we're in Florida. I don't want to travel a state with an animal on my lap. So that's what their delivery fee was, and he's available. So we're going to talk about it and think about it. We thought maybe a mini donkey would be in our future, especially since we talked to our vet when Charlie got sick. He said mini donkeys were really hardy. Sick animals, I'll take care of them and do whatever they need, but it breaks my heart. So obviously we want all healthy animals, but the hardier the better.
And if you guys have any information about mini donkeys, you think they're hardy, obviously donkeys can be stubborn. That's what they're known for, but I guess a lot of that also is how they're brought up and their training.
So a friend of mine who's been out here a couple times, my friend Tiffany, who's just amazing, and she retired as well, and she's a step ahead of us. She retired and got goats and chickens and ducks, and she started accumulating animals before we did, and just a wonderful, amazing family. And she sent a picture last night. She said, I got my Christmas present. She sent a picture of a zebu, a mini zebu in her lap. And he is the cutest little fella. He looks like a deer. He's just absolutely beautiful. So he scored himself an amazing home, and they scored themselves an amazing animal. But I said, well, where are you going to keep him? Because they don't have fur like these guys have. And I know her barn wasn't quite ready yet. And she said, he's going to be a house cow right now because it's cold. So she took this little zebu in last night. I'm gonna unleash her.
Okay.
Here you go, babies. You're a good girl. You need a broccoli leaf. You're a good girl. So I asked her this morning, I was like, how was night one with the house cow? She said he stayed in the master bathroom last night. She said he did great. She said he took his bottle like a champ and he was running around with her golden retriever and trying to nurse off of her. So he's already adopted his canine mom and he settled in less than 12 hours. So we'll keep you updated on, his name's probably going to be Ziggy, but we'll keep you updated on Ziggy as well.
That went, it went well, but it went farther than I thought it would, as far as I thought I would be stressed about it running out. Now, Chief is super chill. He is much less or way less flighty than Charlie over there, and he's so tolerant. I am always pushing him around and loving on him and just playing with him all the time, where Charlie won't tolerate that, but Chief will. But Chief is stubborn. He's stubborn and he is super stupid strong. While he's had lice, he hasn't had them like an infestation for so long without being treated. What they have now are in these little tiny ones, and I don't know when they hatch, but they are, I would say, the eye of a needle size. You know that they're like a live bug, like they don't scurry around or anything, but when you part his skin, you'll see or part his hair, you'll see the nits, and then you'll see like a little brown speck, almost like the size of a pepper speck, but it's more brownish. And it doesn't really move or jump like a flea, but what I'll do is I'll take that and I'll put it on my fingernail and I'll pop it between two fingernails. And if you feel it pop, or if you see a little bit of moisture, then that's a lice. And if you're not diligent about it, you'll miss them. Like, you won't just, I don't think the regular everyday person, even those that are pet lovers, would find a lice on him, but I know what they are now. I didn't know before. And that's what he has, is those little tiny ones that will eventually become bigger. And if you don't take care of them, it's a bad thing for him, Deb, because what'll happen? We know one thing that'll happen.
Well, they itch and they scratch, they're uncomfortable, but it's bad for them. They can get too many, they can get anemic, but it can make them lose their hair as well. So yeah, it's not healthy. It's not healthy for any parasite or any bug to be on any animal, right?
So Deb likes to make fun of the fact that, see, he knows something's up. Make fun of the fact that I call him old boy. And I don't even know why I call him old boy. He doesn't look like a calf anymore. He looks like a cow in this weird, odd body. He's got these little short, it doesn't hurt. I didn't even hardly, just keep him there and I'll start his tail. But he's got these little short, tiny legs. He's just oddly shaped, with his little tiny legs and his big barrel body, especially when it's full of milk. Deb calls him Beefy Chiefy. What else should he call him?
Beefy Chiefy, Beef Master, Chief, Bubba Cow.
I'm going to put him in my squeeze chute here. See if that works. Sometimes this works. Stay, boy. They both really love rutabaga leaves.
Oh, good night. He's so heavy.
Cooperating. But, like Charlie loves broccoli. Chief is on broccoli. Chief really loves cabbage, and sometimes Charlie is on cabbage. But it's weird how both cows grew up together and they like different vegetables.
It also depends on the time of day, because sometimes when I walk by the garden, they'll run across the pasture when they see me near the garden, and I'll pick a couple broccoli leaves and they'll eat them like they're starving, like they haven't eaten anything all day. And when we take them on the other side of the fence and we walk them, there's wheat over there, and there's grass, and then there's daikon radishes and rye. And they eat when we walk them like mouthfuls, like they haven't eaten in a year. But when I'm walking, they'll run to the fence and I'll grab them handfuls of it, and they're just kind of like, whatever. And I literally will have just picked it. So they're persnickety. You're gonna have to just
moving on me. Come on, old boy. I'm about half done. Sometimes he'll like lay his head on me if I put my knee like that. Well, this is not one of those times. No, he's feeling pinned in. All right, old boy, you need it up here, because this is where you're always scratching.
The good thing about this is if it is seasonal, then hopefully this is it for a while.
Well, you saw in her nose how it was migrating already, huh?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're all done. I turned the video off there at the end because we wanted, he got calm and we were just trying to keep him calm and finish. But I got it down him consistently down his back. I think I did as good a job as I could possibly do. And the reason we're making this video, because it's kind of a weird video for us to make. We've already made a lice treatment video. But I did a search on YouTube and there's only like 3 lice treatment videos, and none of them for cows as small as ours are right now. And ours was one of them. So we figured we needed to show this because there's a lot of Highland mini cows out there, and there's a lot of people that just don't know how to treat them, and there's not a lot of data out there. Like, they can't get lice from a possum or a raccoon, right? Cows can only get lice, cow lice, from other cows, and they also can't transfer that lice to you. So it's not like
or to your animals,
to your animals. Yeah. So if a cow has lice, and let's say you never had a farm before, it came with lice, because it's not picking up lice in a non-cattle environment. So that's something we learned. They can't get them from wild animals. So if we get them under control on the animals themselves, we'll win this battle, because we're treating their bedding as well. We're hoping this works. I mean, we can't really put any more of this on them. So the next step after this would be what? Go to the vet and get the systemic stuff.
I assume. I mean, we're just taking this one step at a time. It's gotten so much better, though.
Yeah.
And like Brad said, we just have to break the cycle. So we can't use this again, but there are other products, and we'll just continue to do our research. But I have a really good feeling about this.
Yeah, and if you guys are interested in this product, we're not sponsored. We bought it with our own money from Chewy. We'll put, if Amazon has it, we'll put a link down below. But this is supposed to be, like, no kidding, the fix for cow lice. But that'll wrap it up for today's video, folks. We sure appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one.
Take care.
Take care.